West Ham United 0.
Trying to avoid relegation.
He was one of the heroes of the afternoon.
Applause from the away supporters. The latest score is Wimbledon through to the Premier.
John Terry's tears, we all remember.
Two crucial wins.
Welcome to Final Score. We've been here for the last 2.5 hours. If you've just joined us, you've missed these scenes here at the KC Stadium. Hull City are a Premier League side again after 3 years. You've also missed the musings of Robbie Fowler and Mark Bright. So I'm glad you've joined us now, because there's plenty more to come from them. And you can see just how that story unfolded and how dramatic it was. It was breathless for all of us, wasn't it?
Excellent.
You've still got plenty more to say, though, I know. But if you've got questions for the guys here, tweet them using the hashtag BBC Football and get involved via the live text on the BBC Sport website as well. I will tell you all about how the Championship finished, and believe me, it's worth knowing. It was very, very dramatic. But let's bring you right up to speed with the Premier League so far this afternoon. And relegated Reading are in the lead at Craven Cottage. They're not going down with a whimper, it would seem. Hal Robson-Kanu's penalty, the difference there. And Aston Villa have just taken the lead at Carrow Road. Gabby Agbonlahor putting them ahead. It's goalless, unbelievably so if you ask Robbie Fowler, at the Liberty Stadium. Man City with plenty of chances, none of them converted just yet. An attractive game nonetheless. Goalless also at White Hart Lane, but they have played 30 minutes football less than everybody else because there was a bit of traffic congestion outside the ground which delayed kick-off. Ricky Lambert hit the post for the Saints, but it's been frustrating for Spurs so far. West Brom have a 2-1 lead over Wigan. They're in deep trouble there at the Hawthorns. Roberto Martinez's side. Gareth McCauley has put the Baggies ahead after they'd managed to equalise Wigan. And it's goalless at Upton Park. But if you're a Newcastle fan, or Robbie Fowler, we call him Hawkeye round here, you'd say it shouldn't be, because Papa Cisse came very close to scoring there for the Geordies, but it was cleared off the line. The replays show that it did go over. Next season, it would probably be a goal at Upton Park. There's a look of disbelief there from Mark Bright. We'll discuss that further in a moment. So that's how it's going in the Premier League. And this is how the Championship finished. Birmingham City there won, Blackburn Rovers won. Bolton Wanderers were in the top 6 at various points this afternoon, but they finished agonisingly close. They were 7th in the end, 2-2. Brighton secured their playoff place with a 2-0 win over Wolves, which relegated them. Burnley beat Ipswich by 2-0. Charlton Athletic 4, Bristol City, who were already relegated, 1. Crystal Palace with a 90th minute goal beat and relegated Peterborough 3-2. Derby 1, Millwall 0. They were also in the bottom 3 at various points. Huddersfield Barnsley 2-2. They both survive. Hull 2, Cardiff 2. What a dramatic finish there at the KC Stadium. And it was Nottingham Forest 2, Leicester 3. That took them over the line into that all-important 6th place. Sheffield Wednesday survived with a 2-0 win over Middlesbrough. Watford 1, Leeds United 2. Looks like a straightforward scoreline. The story was not that at all. It was an incredibly dramatic finish. There was a 15-minute delay there, and so Hull had to watch on and wait. And then Leeds scored in those remaining moments. We'll show you the table and exactly how it all finished in just a moment. We've got to go straight to the Hawthorns. Ivan Gaskell has goal news.
Oh, it's another huge moment in the relegation battle. Wigan have levelled it here, and I'm fairly confident that with his very first touch after coming on as sub, MacArthur has scored for Wigan. He came on literally a minute ago, and from a deep cross he got his head there where it hurt, beat Olsen to the ball. It was Maloney's cross, I believe. Lovely cross coming back on his left foot, and there was MacArthur at the far post, diving, stooping, and he only came on literally, 30 seconds earlier. First touch, it's a pretty important one. 2-2 here.
Yeah, they're not going to go away, are they?
Oh, ever so well. I mean, great ball from Sean Maloney. Just come back on his right foot and just flipped it towards the far post. And MacArthur with a diving header at the far post, which you rarely see these days. 2-2. I mean, they know it's a game that we've talked about before. Today's the start of it. You have to win today to keep the momentum going. Oh, I thought that was handball.
Just to confirm, it's half-time at White Hart Lane. Let's go to Craven Cottage. Goal news, Will Perry.
Yeah, and Reading have just doubled their lead, Gabby, just in the last few seconds. It's now Fulham 0, Reading 2. Fulham look dreadful this afternoon, and it's a second goal for Hal Robson-Kanu. He's just curled it in with his left foot into the bottom left corner past Mark Schwarzer. The cottage is silent. The story of the game so far, the visitors ahead for a controversial penalty, won and taken by Robson-Kanu. Although looking at the replay of that, the initial foul from John Arnorisa appeared to be outside of the Fulham box. Reading keeper Alex McCarthy has to be man of the match so far. 2 stunning saves, keeping out Brian Ruiz and the substitute Hugo Rodallega. You can hear the boos around the cottage. They're not happy. It's Fulham 0, Reading 2.
It'll be Nigel Adkins' first win as Reading manager, of course, if he can pull it off. When those kind of shackles are off and almost the relief of the fait accompli, you know what's happened. They start to play.
I'll be honest with you. I think it's more Fulham, to be honest.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
Fulham are just. It's a typical end of season game. Nothing to play for. We spoke about Championship teams, nothing to play for, Premier League teams. But Fulham are just not there today. You know, every time Reading probably go forward, they look dangerous. Look, we've seen Reading many times this year.
So you don't think Reading have suddenly upped their form?
Well, if they are, it's a bit out of order. If they are, to be fair.
I saw them last week against QPR, and it was one of the worst Premier League games I've seen for a long time. But you know what? Atkins has just said to them, right, we're going out on a high here. We're going to finish off this season, and that's how we're going to start the next season. And they've been on the front foot, have been aggressive, and Fulham are on holiday, as far as I can see.
Well, this time last year, of course, Nigel Adkins was celebrating his side at the time, Southampton being promoted to the Premier League. And this afternoon, it was Hull who were in that position because they secured that second automatic promotion spot behind Cardiff, who'd already been confirmed as champions. It was 3 years they've been away, the Tigers, but they're back under the tutelage of Steve Bruce. Watford are going to have to pick themselves up for a tilt at the playoffs when they're joined by Brighton, Crystal Palace and Leicester. They snuck in just very late on with that win over Nottingham Forest, and the drama at the bottom was just as great. But after all the topsy-turvy action of 90 minutes, Wolves and Peterborough will be playing League One football next season with Bristol City, who were already relegated before today. Barnsley pulled off one of the great escapes, didn't they, really? Not just today, but over the last few weeks when they've had really tough opposition as well. Their run-in has been arguably one of the toughest to engineer. Let's show you how it all happened in the top matches in the Championship, which decided the promotion, and Hull and Cardiff and Watford and Leeds were the 2 key games. Here's the action.
So the scenario here is simple. Watford must win and hope things go their way at the KC Stadium.
Well, we're about to get underway, but the key thing to remember is their destiny remains in their own hands. If they can hold their nerve, Hull City will be back in the Premier League.
Here is a chance for Leeds, it's Polion, and Polion scores! A mix-up involving Bonham and his defenders, and Polion was the man to capitalise.
News had filtered through to the KC Stadium, and it swept around the ground, and one of euphoria.
Anya, Hogg ahead of him, making the run into the area, but Anya goes himself, and now the shot! And what a finish from Alman Abdi! And all of a sudden, there is hope inside Vicarage Road again. A move which was so typical of Watford this season to allow Abdi to finish superbly.
The ball is played through to Fraser Campbell. Campbell is in for Cardiff City. Campbell has scored for Cardiff City. Would you believe it? A player who once propelled Hull to the Premier League may well be consigning them to the playoffs. Hull are behind. Quinn in towards Brady. It's Prospect. Prospect has got the touch. Prospect for the equaliser. There is hope for Hull City. It's thoroughly absorbing, and it's all unfolding in front of our eyes and our ears. Brady with the corner for Hull City. McShane! Hull City have come from behind, and Hull City may well have a new hero, and Hull City could be heading back to the Premier League.
Ultimately, it's Brown who comes away with it. And now Troy Deeney is going to receive a second yellow, and it's a red card for Watford's leading striker. And that's a real blow to the hopes of automatic promotion today.
Penalty to Hull City.
Absolutely. It's a no-brainer to me.
It was Turner on Myler for the penalty. And a crowd waits in anticipation. Proschwitz now for the cushion to steal it. Saved by Marshall. Marshall diving away to his left. In comes the free kick. Appeals for handball.
Oh my word.
Handball against Guy. And the handball has been given. And what drama. Maynard scores. Cardiff City have equalised. And the party is on hold for Hull City.
Watford now know what they have to do.
It's Quinn to Hull City. And the full-time whistle is blown. The Hull City supporters invade the pitch. It's finished 2-2, but it's not in their hands for Hull City. All attention now on Vicarage Road.
Abdi. Vidra waits in the area. Abdi may go himself. Abdi with a shot low. It's saved by Kenny. Sharapov was there, and Kenny makes a brilliant save again. Aidan White, and now there could be a breakaway, and it's McCormack all the way through, and his chip will drop into the net. As the full-time whistle goes here, Leeds have muted celebrations, but there will be huge celebrations at the KC Stadium.
Oh, those scenes there at the KC Stadium
That's
where
what it's all about.
the players, the whole players, were waiting in the tunnel at the KC for that
Watford
game to finish at Vicarage Road, which was 15 minutes delayed. And you see the scenes here where they finally were confirmed as Premier League players next season.
They've done everything they had to do, and you know, they've hung in there whole. You know, they've had a roller coaster ride at the end of the season. I think 79 points. You have to go back to 2007, 2008 when the team went up with 79. It was Stoke, which was a lot higher than that. But they fully deserve it. You know, full credit to them. You know, that nervous wait there. Obviously, 1 minute you're booking your holidays, the next minute you're in the playoffs. We're talking about you're coming in for a warm down and recovery and what we're going to do for the playoffs, or you're promoted and the boys will probably go away, or the families can start, the wives can start booking the holidays. It's a great feeling to achieve what you set out to do at the start of the season, which is to play football in the Premier League next year. Well done to Steve Bruce, well done to Hull City, the fans and all the players, everyone associated with the club.
Yeah, congratulations to them. We'll hear from Gianfranco Zola, no doubt, throughout the afternoon, because he's got a big task to pick his Watford side up now as they head into the playoffs. But we are going to go straight to Craven Cottage. Will Parry, another goal. Who's got it this time?
Well, Fulham have got one back, Gabby. It's Fulham 1, Reading 2, and it's Brian Ruiz who plays a 1-2 with Hugo Rodallega on the edge of the Reading D, and he just runs into acres of space in the Reading box, and there's nothing Alex McCarthy can do about that. Ruiz just slides the ball right down the middle, and Fulham have a lifeline. They've been seriously unconvincing in this second half, and from the majority of the first half as well. The fans really getting on their backs, and they've got to go back now. They'll be looking to build on that one. It's Fulham 1, Reading 2.
So Fulham have got one back there at Craven Cottage. No other goals to report on while that edit there of the ups and downs of the Championship was being played out for you. The Premier League politely waited for their goals. So we'll confirm to you the playoffs, though, from the Championship results today. The 4 teams who are looking to come through those playoffs and confirm that third spot in the Premier League. The 1st, the 9th of May, is Leicester, Watford, and then Crystal Palace, Brighton is on the 10th. Have Leicester got, you know, now that they've kind of crept over the line at the end, is there a certain momentum there, do you feel, that can propel them forward? Are you more handicapped if you're the team that have just missed out on second spot, as Watford have? Or do you look to West Ham for inspiration last year?
I think the manager can shape it any way. You go back as far as when Crystal Palace were third from the bottom, went all the way up, got into the playoffs in 6, just crept in and got promotion. So a manager will choose whatever he wants to feed that information to his players. But the main thing is believe in yourself. Have the focus that, you know, on your day you can beat anybody in this league, as everybody's results will prove. And there should be some exciting games there. It really should.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, the games will be so exciting. Leicester probably might have an advantage over Watford only because of the way today's panned out.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. You know, Watford, you know, thinking they've got a great chance of going up. Everything that could have went bad for them today did. You know, and you know,
maybe Gianfranco Zola will say we've had our bad luck. It's time now to put that to one side. We'll see. It's a couple of days to regroup. Let's go to Carrow Road. Thank you for that, Brighty. I was on it. Damien Johnson can tell us about the penalty there.
We have a penalty to Norwich City. Snodgrass pulled down in the area by, I think it was Joe Bennett, who is already on a yellow card. No more cards brandished, but a chance for Norwich City to get back into this game. They trail by 1-0. That second half effort from Gabby Agbonlor. And Grant Holt is stepping up to take this kick. I presume you're going to stay with me for this. At the moment, 1-0 to Villa. That would take them to 40 points, the magic 40 points, and probable safety. But this will be a popular goal if it is scored by Grant Holt against Brad Guzan, the Villa keeper. Away to my right-hand side, Holt over the ball. Scored 5 this season. Not been a great return for him after his excellent season last year, but up steps Holt. Low sends Guzan the wrong way. We're all square. 1-1.
And yet again, it changes things at the bottom of the table, doesn't it? Because bringing Villa back into that there with Wigan, of course, at the moment also drawing at West Brom, it's kind of as you were.
It's tight, isn't it? It's tight.
Well, listen, it isn't the stage where they're listening to what Newcastle are doing and what Wigan are doing. But, you know, it's if you don't pick up the points now, then it starts to get to that stage at the end of the season.
But with all those teams drawing, it literally is just everybody as you were. So the gap is still between Wigan and Sunderland would still be... Well,
status quo, is it?
Yeah, there is that. Another way of expressing it, Brighty. Yeah, indeed. Let's go back while nobody's scoring goals and hear from Championship manager Gianfranco Zola, whose Watford side just missed out today on that automatic promotion spot from the Championship to the Premier League. How is he going to pick his side up for their playoff against Leicester?
Gianfranco, it was an extraordinary day, and it seemed that events conspired against you even before the game with the goalkeeping situation.
Yeah, it didn't go the way we wanted. We're very unfortunate with that, but that's the way it is. You know, you have to face the reality. It probably wasn't to happen today. We will make it happen in the playoffs.
You've been thinking about the playoffs the last few weeks anyway, but is it so frustrating to come so close right at the end?
Yeah, it is frustrating. We thought we couldn't make it today. We did believe that we could make it. We tried very hard. As I said, it was tough. You know, a couple of the situations that were against our favour, and for maybe in the first half there was a penalty, but the referee didn't see it. But as I said, we tried everything we could, and it didn't happen. We'll make it happen next.
Have you got some disappointed players in there which you need to lift now for the playoffs?
Yeah, there will be some of them disappointed, but there's no time for that. We need to be quickly to pick it up.
And your goalkeepers, Almunia, Bond, will they be fit for the playoffs?
I don't know. Jonathan Bond at the moment is gone to the hospital. As far as I know, he's a broken nose, but hopefully it's not going to be more than that. And Almunia again as well. It shouldn't be too bad. It should be only a slight problem on his hamstring, but it shouldn't be too bad.
So Gianfranco Zola there with his thoughts after what can only be described as a disappointing end, for him. I mean,
desperate.
Today was, obviously.
That's what he said. They had Millwall they could have beat on the run in, and somebody else at the bottom, Barnsley or something. And
they couldn't capitalise when
one of those games.
Was stumbling, could they?
This is it.
Got to pick them up. OK, we're going to go to Craven Cottage. More goal news from Will Perry.
Yeah, it's now Fulham 1, Reading 3. A pretty unbelievable scoreline, really. And the goal has involved 2 substitutes. It's Alfie Lafondra who's got it for Reading. It was a long ball over the top, and Kieran Richardson, who's only just come on for Fulham as well, was absolutely nowhere. And just as I speak, a goal back for Fulham. It's an absolute goal fest, this one. It was 3-3 in October, wasn't it, at the Medeski Stadium? It could well be 3-3 again this afternoon. There's Brian Ruiz, who's just headed in his second of the afternoon. That makes it Fulham 2, Reading 3. And just going back to Reading's earlier goal, Adam Lafond just brushed right through Kieran Richardson. He looks like he's already on his summer holidays, Kieran Richardson. I know he picked up a bit of an injury in their game last week, but he's come on. Lafond just walked right through him, put the ball past Mark Schwarzer. But as you just heard there, Brian Ruiz heading one back. And we've had 5 goals already. I wouldn't rule out another 5, Gabby. It's Fulham 2, Reading 3.
So Adam Lafondra's 7th goal off the bench for Reading. So what's going on in that game then? The only game that genuinely has nothing at all of any consequence for the rest of the division. Everybody else is either to do with the relegation or Champions League places.
You know, there's goals and it's entertaining at the end of the season because, you know, definitely Reading want to finish on a high. As I said before, that one thing the manager will say is he's just come into the club. He wants to look at some positives. He wants to look at judge players for next season, who he wants to keep and who he wants to let go. And what he'll say is, I want to see some all-out effort here to win a game, to give the fans something to cheer about, so that, you know, we can try and finish as strong as we can to start for next year.
Let's go to the Hawthorns, because no Figueroa today for Wigan. They've lost him for the rest of the season, and of course the FA Cup final. I've just seen another Wigan player being stretchered off, Ivan Gascoigne.
Yeah, Jean Beausejour has just gone off, and I have to say Mr Martinez was looking somewhat concerned. His numbers are dwindling, with lots of important games still to come in this fascinating end to another fascinating season, and this one is right on a knife edge. We're into the last quarter of an hour here, and Wigan have a free kick towards the corner flag. Maloney will take it. He can deliver a ball. Kone's in there. Just might be worth staying with this, because this could be a crucial moment. It's in a dangerous position for Wigan. They're really fighting to get all 3 points, and I built it up, and the ball drifts harmlessly beyond Foster's far post. Why do I bother?
It kind of ended up dwiddling out, didn't it?
Yes, exactly. Dwiddling.
Yeah, got you. Thank you very much, Ivan. Wigan at the moment, you know, they're playing decent football, aren't they? It's 2-2 there. You know, I mean, I'm talking about generally this end run that they've had. Earlier, Guy said could have, would have, should have. Today,
I think it's typical Wigan. You know, they are playing good football. They've had a few good chances there, but they just can't win games, can they? Listen, I know there's all the talk whether they're in the FA Cup final, but look, I think it's very important they stay in the Premier League. And look, the league is not out of them by any means. I mean, they've still got a chance, and maybe relying on other teams. But I think today is a must-win game for them.
There's a 5-point gap between themselves and Newcastle, and you know, I know you don't move anywhere if you win, but you must get yourself in contention for that game in hand.
Well, just make the other teams panic, isn't it?
We always talk about, you know, would you have the points or the game in hand? And I would always say the same thing. Take the points.
Spurs are an example of that, aren't they? You know, at the moment, failing to put anything in the net. It's 0-0 with Southampton. Arsenal coming strong. They've had a fantastic run.
You talk about the Tottenham game, and Southampton, as much as Spurs have had probably a little bit more possession, Southampton have had the better chances. Nathaniel Klein, he should have scored a great chance in the first half, right-footed volley. No one was near him. He should have scored. And the second half as well, obviously, Ricky Lambert, it's a post. Good save by Lloris, obviously tips it on. The ball breaks out, and then I think it was, I can't even remember who flicked it in, but Steve Davis had an header from 6 yards out. It could have went anywhere, and he's headed it straight at the keeper.
Let's hear from Tony Husband, who's at White Hart Lane watching this one.
Yeah, I think Robbie's summed that up very well, Gabby. Southampton have had the better chances. I think they've been a bit more ambitious than some of the sides I've seen come here to White Hart Lane. Under Pochettino, they play a pretty pressing style. Gareth Bale, 200th appearance for Spurs today, and he just hit the top of the crossbar. He was offside, so it wouldn't have counted. But nevertheless, it was another reminder of his incredible talent. There has been a change. It was just before half-time, actually. Don't forget, this is a delayed kick-off. We started at 3:30. Lewis Holtby's come on for Moussa Dembele, who actually was carrying an injury coming into this game, ruled fit, and then was withdrawn after 35 minutes. But early stages of the second half, and still kind of pensive mood around White Hart Lane, because at the moment, Southampton, the visitors here, looking pretty comfortable at 0-0.
Just a West Brom attack there, just have my eye on. But let's talk about the bottom of the Championship, which was equally dramatic today. But Wolves, well, they kind of went out with a whimper. Lost today, of course, never out of the bottom 3. And Dean Saunders' side have now had successive relegations. This time last year they were fighting to stay in the Premier League. He, of course, wasn't manager. But let's hear from Dean now.
Dean, your face tells its own story. You've been through the ringer this afternoon.
Yeah, it's a disappointing day for everybody, but you know, the game was symptomatic of what's been wrong with us all season. We played well with the ball, created loads of chances, eight chances, couldn't put the ball in the net, and it's cost us. Not being good enough, both boxes. But 10 minutes ago I've started rebuilding the club, and you have to go forward now. I mean, sometimes it takes hitting rock bottom before you realise things have got to change, and I've got to change everything, and I've got to rebuild the club.
You said before the match you needed a football miracle to stay up, and to concede a goal after just 5 minutes was just the worst possible start for you.
Yeah, after we started great. I thought we hit the post, Saka's hit the post before they scored. I thought we played some great football, just the end product, which is what matters and what you pay for. Vincente's goal's an example of a player who's played for Spain. Goes past Matt Doherty as if he's not there. Class. It's a class goal, and we've missed that. We haven't done that. So, as I said, the fans were absolutely magnificent today. They've been magnificent since I've come in. They deserve better. They've had lots of bad weekends over the last 3 or 4 years, and I feel, you know, sorry for them, and I feel like I've got to. I'm obliged to do something about it, and I, you know, from 10 minutes ago, I'm going to try and rebuild this club. There's no point in looking back on it. We've got to go forward now as a club.
OK, let's go straight from the depressing news of Wolves relegation to the Hawthorns, where Ivan Gaskin, it could be very good news indeed if you're a Wigan fan.
Oh, you absolutely cannot fault the spirit of Wigan Athletic. Twice they've had to come from behind in this game, and now they've taken the lead. 9 minutes left, and it was that man Sean Maloney, a terrific player, once again the architect, dancing inside the West Bromwich Albion penalty area, pulling the ball back, and there was McManaman. What a fine finish from close range. He still had work to do, but he was there, he was sharp, and in it flew. Wigan are ahead.
Is it today the start of their traditional annual Great Escape? We shall see. Let's go to Craven Cottage, though. Will Perry has more goal news for us.
I have to say, Gabby, if I'm being honest, I wasn't expecting to be on this much. It's now Fulham 2, Reading 4. We all thought, didn't we, that this match was going to be last on Match of the Day. Maybe they're fiddling around in the offices upstairs above you, that order for tonight, because it's been a bit of a cracker, really, and the latest goals come from Jem Karachan. The ball came into the Fulham box. It was another piece of sloppy defending by Kieran Richardson, who's come on as a second-half substitute. His header didn't clear it away at all. It didn't even get out of the box, and the ball has come back in, and it's Danny Guthrie who's knocked it down. Karachan has just hit it into the ground, and it's dribbled by Mark Schwarzer into the bottom right-hand corner. Reading fully deserve what should be a first 3 points as Reading manager Nigel Adkins, as he, of course, builds that team for the Championship next season, and it's been a good game. It's Fulham 2, Reading 4.
Thank you very much, Will, and well done to Reading and everything on the win, but I still won't bank on you getting on Match of the Day before about 11:30 tonight. And that's only because every other game today has something resting on it, whether it's relegation or Champions League, and it's relegation when it comes to Upton Park, Andrew James, and with Wigan leading, those Newcastle fans there must be getting very nervous indeed.
Gabby, they're very quiet indeed. I don't think it's totally sunk in yet, the significance of this, because as it stands at the moment, Newcastle by 10 o'clock Tuesday evening could be in the bottom 3 of the Premier League with just a couple of games left, unless they can find a goal here. And in fact, in the last few minutes, really, they've been more likely to concede. Goalkeeper Rob Elliott has worked his way into Garth Crooks' Team of the Week with a splendid double save from Nolan. Carroll's gone wide on a couple of occasions with headers, and really West Ham have looked the most likely scorers. If they did so and denied Newcastle that point, that really would put the cat amongst the pigeons for the Toon Army. At the moment, though, West Ham 0, Newcastle 0.
Did you see much of that defeat to Liverpool last week?
Yeah, and they were poor. Listen, you go to Newcastle and you're always expecting a game.
That was the disappointing thing, I think, for Newcastle fans. There was just nothing there, wasn't there?
Well, I mean, we've seen it in the game before against Sunderland at home. You know, you never expect that. You go to St James's Park and...
But Colaccini's back today, isn't he? Ben Arthur's in the team, and I think you were just pointing out there, they've got to play QPR away and Arsenal at home. They've only won one game away all season.
I mean, yeah, I've said that. I mean, that's why I said Nil at the start of the show. I mean, they could be one of the surprise teams to go down. I know Wigan... obviously they're winning today, but I can see Wigan
getting another win. It's a similar pattern to the relegation of a few seasons ago as well, isn't it? Just kind of slowly getting sucked in and nobody really noticing that they were in such great danger, and the form then capitulating with it.
Well, last year Alan Pardew was hailed as, you know, fantastic coach with a great scouting network.
8-year contract.
Yeah, 8-year contract, you know, finished, what, 5th or something, and then, you know, they've had a lot of injuries this season, and so have a lot of other clubs, and they've got a big squad, but, like Robbie said, now you really start to worry, thinking... Everyone goes, they'll be okay, they've got quality. As I said before, I didn't see no split in the camp. I spent a week up there and the players dined together, the atmosphere was good, the emphasis on the training ground was really intense. You know, the training was good and competitive. They won the game against Annecy on the Thursday. But himself
this week talked about a communication problem, didn't he?
Well, I asked him, I said, you know, when you buy all these foreign players, aren't you worried there's going to be a click? He said, I avoid that. They can't all change together. You know, everyone's mixed in the change room. I think rooms and all that sort of thing, and dining at dinner, it's mixed up, so you don't 4 or 5 of you sit together. And he tries to have the language of Idara doesn't speak very good. Papi Cisse, he speaks decent English, so you want the training ground to be English speaking. You know, in the dining room, keep it all English, so it stops that off. So I didn't see any evidence of it myself being up there for a week. So if there is, then you have to take the word of the players.
Nothing to add, Rob?
No, I just think it worries me about Newcastle because I can see Wigan getting another 3 points. I can't really see that with Newcastle. I know QPR they should be going to QPR and winning. And then the Arsenal game...
But all you need is
so
have to win, won't they?
I mean, they're getting dragged in, and I mean, it could be a difficult last few weeks of the season for them.
And West Ham have a fairly handy free kick at the moment as well. So... maybe if there's news on anything, let's just stay with it, shall we?
It's gone wide.
It's rather than ooh. Tony Husband, give us a few more.
Carrow Road.
Hang on a second. Before we go there, sorry, we're going to go straight there to Carrow Road. Damian Johnson has a goal.
The Aston Villa fans on the far side are celebrating wildly because Gabby Agbonlahor has got his and Aston Villa's second goal. It was a through ball. It was all about Agbonlahor's pace and composure. Through midfield, he beat his marker and fired low past Bunn. And Villa on course for victory, 2-1.
And Villa would be on 40 points with that.
Do you know what? I looked at Gabby Agbonlahor's record in the Premier League over the last few seasons, and I think it was 4, 5 or 6 goals. And I'm thinking, for his ability, not enough goals. Is he hungry to score? Does he want to score? This season, I think he's had his best season probably of his career. I think he's in double figures. It might be 12 or 13. But it's nice to see him. His first goal was an excellent goal, wasn't it?
You know, even that goal was brilliant as well. I mean, I'm not sure who played the ball in, but his movement and his run away from the defender, just inside the box, and he placed it into the far bottom corner. So it was a great goal.
I tell you what, Paul Lambert, you know, you go back to your old club and your team score, you tend not to over-celebrate. He ran down the touchline,
he's written that rule
pumping the fist.
He's thrown that rule book out the window, hasn't he? Yeah, there was a bit of Mourinho Di Canio fist pumping going on there, wasn't there?
Yeah, well, he's enjoying it. He's kept the club up.
OK, not that Di Canio was back at his old club, but you know what I mean.
I know what you're saying.
OK, let's go to Upton Park. Andrew James, tell us what the oohing and ahhing was all about.
There was a half chance for West Ham United as the ball floated towards goal. Andy Carroll's been jumping for everything against his old side, just been named man of the match. They got a head on it and it just came back off the post, and Newcastle managed to clear. They've been strong in defence today, Gabby, with Colaccini back at the heart of that defence, but they haven't really looked like scoring apart from that first half effort. Cisse got the ball towards goal, and it was Winston Reid who kicked off the line, or did he? Some of the pictures suggesting it might have been over the line, but since then Newcastle have really rode their luck. It's 0-0.
OK, let's go to White Hart Lane. Tony Husband, it's 0-0 there as well.
Yes, and don't forget we have half an hour still to play here, Gabby, in this delayed kickoff, and it's a big half hour in Spurs season. They risk a potentially fatal blow to their Champions League ambitions really here, because Southampton have bossed this in the second half. They've had more possession. They've just had 3 corners in quick succession. Lallana's had a half chance. He just didn't really finish it off. His shot was weak. Adebayor has come on for Lennon, who looked like he was holding a hamstring. But don't forget, of course, in Spurs' last home game, they turned it on very late here and won against Manchester City. They're going to need more of the same here, because at the moment they're second best.
Thank you very much. Let's go to Craven Cottage. Fulham had a little bit of a dance around the goal there, Will.
Yeah, they have. It's still Fulham 2, Reading 4, Gabby, and we've played 46 minutes in the second half, so there's, I think, another minute of added time to play here at Craven Cottage as Reading have a free kick, and it's taken by Guthrie and curled in, and it's over the top of the bar. But yeah, Fulham really haven't looked themselves in this second half. But what you were talking about, that incident, and another great save really from Alex McCarthy, who's pulled off 2 before that one, 2 brilliant point blank saves from Roddy Jaeger and from Brian Ruiz. And it was a bit of a nervous moment, but kept it out. And you think even if Fuller got one back there, he wouldn't have ruled them out, getting a fourth the way this game has gone. But as it stands, it's going to be a first win as Reading manager for Nigel Adkins, as they come forward again with Jem Karachan. Just a couple of minutes left here at the Cottage. It's Fulham 2, Reading 4.
And let's go to the Hawthorns. West Brom still on the attack, Ivan Gaskell.
Absolutely. What a great effort from Graham Dorrans. 20 yards out. The ball set up beautifully for him, but he struck it beautifully too. He can do that, and it was arrowing towards the top corner, but a fine save from Robles. As I speak, I think Robles has just got his hand to another one there, as I think it was Ridgewell who headed towards goal. The ball was heading towards the top of the net, but Robles just got the fingertip of his gloves to the ball to turn it over. So certainly West Brom not finished. They're not giving it up. It's 3-2 still, but only just.
Robles did well there.
Yeah, I mean, he just claimed he didn't touch the second one, but he did, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. And the first one was a good save. I mean, it was a little
Excellent.
bit of theatricals from him. You know, it was one of them camera saves.
You're not giving him enough credit.
Oh, listen, I'm a goal scorer. All these keepers, all these fancy saves.
Well, last week the boys were criticising him and wondering whether Al-Habsi was going to make an appearance again. And today, if they do get the win here, he's a big part of that, isn't he?
Good save. It was a good save. It was a good volley, and he got himself across to it.
OK, full-time scenes there at the Liberty Stadium. Not a scoreline that you would have predicted, 0-0 between these two, perhaps. And not technically enough, Ian Hunt, for Man City to celebrate finishing in the Champions League places, depending on what happens at White Hart Lane today.
Absolutely. They'll be also looking at Arsenal's game at Loftus Road later on. Gabby, that could be crucial in terms of whether a draw here at the Liberty is enough for Manchester City to secure Champions League football next season. You're not champions anymore was the cry from the Swansea fans at their Manchester counterparts, and this game really showed you why in some ways. Plenty of attractive, incisive passing from Roberto Mancini's side, but really not able to breach the Swansea defence. 2 glaring misses in the final 10 minutes sum this up. Dzeko should have scored. A horrible miss from Zabaleta's cutback off the byline, and then David Silva blazing over a left-footed shot from Dzeko's pass. Swansea, all their chances coming really in the first half, but Hernandez, Michu and Routledge spurning those chances. So Manchester City forced to wait to see whether this will be enough for Champions League football next season. 1 win in 8 now for Swansea, who must just long for the summer holidays. It's finished Swansea City 0, Manchester City 0.
And they're still in 9th place, Swansea. And it's full-time there at Craven Cottage. Relegated Reading with Nigel Adkins' first 3 points, Bill Perry.
Absolutely. Fulham 2, Reading 4, 6 goals. As you say, a first win for Nigel Adkins as Reading boss. No pressure on either side, though, really, Gabby, and it was quite a spectacle. Reading's first came from the penalty spot. Hal Robson-Kanu scored it, although the foul initially from John Arnorisa looked outside of the box. Robson-Kanu doubled their lead shortly after that, curling a left-footed shot into the bottom left corner. Brian Ruiz pulled one back with his head for the home side before substitute and top scorer Adam Lafondra walked through Kieran Richardson, another substitute, to slide his shot past Mark Schwarzer. Jem Karachan sealed it for Reading, a knockdown from Danny Guthrie, and Karachan hit his shot into the ground and into the bottom right. If Reading keep hold of this team in the Championship next season on this display, they should be quite a force. No night out, though, on the King's Road for Fulham's players. I imagine some strong words from Martin Jol. It's finished Fulham 2, Reading 4.
And it's all over at Carrow Road, and Damian Johnson has watched what could be a Premier League securing win from Aston Villa. Great scenes there.
We Are Staying Up is the song from the Villa fans on the far side. Must be about 2,000 or 3,000 of them. Yeah, 2 goals from Gabby Agbonlahor have given them victory and just about secured survival. He raced clear and challenged from halfway to fire the visitors ahead. The game opened up slightly after that, after a poor first half. Vyman and Agbonlahor had chances to extend the lead. Houlihan went close for Norwich. And in fact, it was Norwich who equalised. Robert Snodgrass upended by Joe Bennett in the area. And Grant Holt sent Guzan the wrong way from the penalty spot. The winner came late in the game. Agbonlahor, nice movements, good speed and a smart finish. Villa, their boss, Paul Lambert, was unrestrained in his celebrations on his return to Carrow Road, his former club, of course. Villa just about safe. Norwich, well, they're still looking over their shoulder.
It's -20.
And to Upton Park, where Alan Pardew's side took a point, Andrew James, a nervy point.
Very, very nervously indeed at Wigan's game against Swansea in midweek. Final score here at Upton Park, though, West Ham 0, Newcastle 0.
Indeed they will, because Wigan have, well, they've done what today looks like it could be the start of the Great Escape. Ooh. They're 3-2 up at the Hawthorns. As I said that, did you
start one cleared off the line?
Did he? If they take 3 points today, though, it really does put a lot of pressure on Sunderland, Newcastle and Norwich, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Well, you know, Villa have done what they needed to do today. They've got 40 points. They've just got themselves away. I think the full-time whistle's just gone, Gab.
OK, let's go to the Hawthorns. Ivan Gaskell, that could be the start of it, couldn't it?
Well, they're just exceptional. Whatever you think about Wigan Athletic, you just have to admire. They do this year in, year out, and they've done it again today. Twice they came from behind. Shane Long early on had given West Brom the lead. A really well-taken goal, a well-executed team effort, that one. Then Kone with a towering header, 1-1, just before the break. Soon after the break, Macaulay, another big header from Doran's free kick, 2-1. But back they came. Maloney was the architect. MacArthur on as a sub with his first touch, a diving header at the far post. It squared it, but they weren't done, Wigan. Callum McManaman, 3-2, 10 minutes from time after Maloney's fine work once again, has won it for Wigan. You can never write them off. Steve McQueen's motorbike is revving up in the car park.
Thank you very much, Ivan. It really is incredible, isn't it, that they can put these runs together, if this is the start of a run, and those teams now will be so nervous because they know they can do it, those teams as well. They've seen them do it before.
Absolutely, and you know, they played the last goal, the Maloney run and the squared ball to McManaman, it was like a team who were chasing a place in the Champions League. But you know, they play. Who they got midweek? They've got Swansea, Arsenal, Villa. I mean, Swansea have only been beaten 4 times at home, and Man City are having a bit of a struggle there today. That's a toughie for them.
Arsenal's a toughie, but Villa, if they're safe, is that a good way?
Yeah, I mean...
That was looking like it was all coming down to that game, didn't it? Wasn't it, at the end?
That's what I said, the defining one. But Aston Villa, full credit to them, really was. Paul Lambert really enjoyed that
6
today.
6 points in a week.
Yeah, big result as well, big scoreline. And just did what they needed to do today, go away and get a result.
Newcastle didn't. I mean, they could have also been, put a result together today, which pulled them away from danger. They're still very much in it.
But it's funny. I mean, it's a funny league again. You know, we talked about before the game. You know, maybe Wigan and one other, but then obviously Norwich are getting dragged into it as well now. So it does make it a little bit tighter. The Newcastle one is.
You're most worried for.
I really am, because you know, obviously the form of, I know it's probably turns out it might be a good point today. You know, they don't win many games away from home. You know, they've got one more away game against QPR. Really, maybe they should win that, and then.
Well, Norwich and West Brom and Man City, I think. So it depends what goes on just below you.
West Brom have shown today and last week against Southampton, they're not just letting the season whimper out, not in the way perhaps Fulham fans might feel their team did today against Reading. But let's get an update from the SPL match, Hearts at Mirren. It's over there at Tynecastle. Ian Turner.
It is. Hearts have won, and could Dundee yet dodge relegation? For 3 weeks now they've avoided the seemingly inevitable, and they've done it again today without even kicking a ball. A St Mirren draw today would have sent down John Brown's side, but again Saints couldn't cross the line to secure their own safety as they were outplayed by financially stricken Hearts, who scored through Jamie Walker, Kevin McHattie and a Jamie Hamill penalty awarded after Kenny McLean was sent off for failing McHattie. If Dundee don't beat Aberdeen tomorrow, St Mirren will be safe, but at a packed Tynecastle it finished Hearts 3, St Mirren 0.
Just a reminder, if you're just tuning in now for the classifieds, that they're still playing at White Hart Lane. This match was 30 minutes delayed. Tony Husband.
Yeah, we've got another 19 minutes of normal time remaining, Gabby, and Spurs, who've thrown Adebayor on in the second half, are also now going to bring Gylfi Sigurdsson on. The player he replaces has gone close to Spurs in the last few minutes. Clint Dempsey, who was coming off, he was set up by Adebayor, but he lobbed his shot over the top. That's the only real opportunity Spurs have had in the last few minutes. It's a crucial 20 minutes in their season here. They come up against a very resolute Southampton side. You can just sense the urgency around White Hart Lane now as well. They are getting more of the ball, but they're going to need more chances. 0-0.
Thank you. Let's get the full classified results then from Neil Turner.
The Barclays Premier League: Fulham 2, Reading 4, Norwich City 1, Aston Villa 2. The match between Queen's Park Rangers and Arsenal, an evening kick-off. Swansea City 0, Manchester City 0. A latest score from White Hart Lane: Tottenham Hotspur 0, Southampton 0. West Bromwich Albion 2, Wigan Athletic 3, West Ham United 0, Newcastle United 0. The N-Power Championship: Birmingham City 1, Blackburn Rovers 1, Bolton Wanderers 2, Blackpool 2, Brighton and Hove Albion 2, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, Burnley 2, Ipswich Town 0, Charlton Athletic 4, Bristol City 1, Crystal Palace 3, Peterborough United 2, Derby County 1, Millwall 0, Huddersfield Town 2, Barnsley 2, Hull City 2, Cardiff City 2, Nottingham Forest 2, Leicester City 3, Sheffield Wednesday 2, Middlesbrough 0, Watford 1, Leeds United 2. The Clydesdale Bank Scottish Premier League: Dundee United 0, St Johnstone 1, Heart of Midlothian 3, St Mirren 0, Inverness Caledonian Thistle 4, Motherwell 3. The Iron Brew Scottish Division 1: Dumbarton 0, Partick Thistle 0, Dunfermline Athletic 1, Airdrie United 2, Falkirk 4, Greenock Morton 1, Hamilton Academical 1, Cowdenbeath 3, Livingston 2, Wraith Rovers 3. The Iron Brew Scottish Division 2: Albion Rovers 0, Queen of the South 1, Arbroath 0, Alloa Athletic 1, East Fife 0, Brecon City 3, Forfar Athletic 2, Ayr United 1, Stenhouse Muir 1, Stranraer 2. The Iron Brew Scottish Division 3: Annan Athletic 1, Montrose 1, Clyde 1, Stirling Albion 2, Elgin City 3, East Stirlingshire 2, Queen's Park 0, Peterhead 3, Rangers 1, Berwick Rangers 0.
So a little look at
North: Brackley Town 3, Altrincham 0, which means that Brackley win 4-2 on aggregate. Guiseley 0, Halifax Town 2, Halifax win 3-1 on aggregate. The Blue Square Bet South playoffs: Dover Athletic 0, Eastleigh 2, extra time being played, the sides at the moment 3-3 on aggregate. Salisbury City 2, Chelmsford City 0, Salisbury win 2-1 on aggregate. The Irish Cup final: Cliftonville 1, Glentoran 3, that match at the moment in extra time. And a late kick-off in the Barclays Premier League, a latest score, Tottenham Hotspur 0, Southampton 0.
Thank you, Neil. The Premier League then, Tottenham's match delayed, of course, means that we won't know whether they creep into the top 4 or not. But Wigan's stunning comeback at the bottom of the table, West Brom as well, and truly put the cat amongst the pigeons at the foot of the table. They're escape specialists, we know that, and they're now just 2 points behind Sunderland and just 3 adrift of Newcastle and Norwich, who they have a game in hand over. Aston Villa took a huge step towards safety. They're now above the Canaries and up to 14th. Reading picked up only their 6th win of the season. So after a truly dramatic lunchtime of Championship football, Hull City have booked their return to the Premier League after a 3-year absence and join Cardiff in the top flight next season. Watford will have to pick themselves up for their playoffs. They're joined by Brighton, Crystal Palace and Leicester, who they'll play. They snuck in after a late winner against Nottingham Forest. At the bottom, well, the drama was just intense, but after 90 minutes of topsy-turvy action, it's Wolves and Peterborough who'll be playing in League One with Bristol City next season. Barnsley pulled off the great escape and have got another season in the Championship to look forward to. And the SPL, Billy McKay's hat-trick helped Inverness beat Motherwell and hold on to 3rd place. St Johnstone stay 4th after their win at Dundee United, and the other day's game, a victory for Hearts, lifted them up to 8th. So the big story of the day in the Championship, Hull winning promotion thanks to an incredibly dramatic end to the Championship season. This is the story of their day.
The key thing to remember is their destiny remains in their own hands. If they can hold their nerve, Hull City will be back in the Premier League. The ball is played through to Fraser Campbell. Campbell is in for Cardiff City. Campbell has scored for Cardiff City. Would you believe it? A player who once propelled Hull to the Premier League may well be consigning them to the playoffs. Hull are behind. Quinn in towards Brady. It's Prospect. Prospect has got the touch. Prospect for the equaliser. There is hope for Hull City. It's thoroughly absorbing, and it's all unfolding in front of our eyes and our ears. Brady with the corner for Hull City. McShane! Hull City have come from behind, and Hull City may well have a new hero, and Hull City could be heading back to the Premier League. Penalty to Hull City.
Absolutely. It's a no-brainer to me.
It was Turner on Myler for the penalty. And a crowd waits in anticipation. Proschwitz now for the cushion to steal it. Saved by Marshall. Marshall diving away to his left. In comes the free kick. Appeals for handball.
Oh my word.
Handball against Five. And the handball has been given. And what drama. Maynard scores. Cardiff City have equalised. And the party is on hold for Hull City. It's Quinn for Hull City. And the full-time whistle is blown. The Hull City supporters invade the pitch. It's finished 2-2.
Well, they were the scenes when they eventually did find out that they were definitely automatically going up and bypassing the dreaded playoffs, because, of course, there was that agonising 15-minute wait when the match was being played out at Vicarage Road. Hull back in the Premier League after 3 seasons.
Yeah, Premier League set-up, no question about that. The stadium, the managers, done it before. A lot of satisfaction out of this one, though, because they've stumbled over the line, and the most important thing, they held their nerve. And you had to wait anxiously at the end of the game. But you have to say, you know, many congratulations to Steve Bruce and everyone concerned with the club, because getting out of the Championship is the hardest thing to do. Seeing what happened to Wolves and Blackburn coming down from the Premier League.
Just looking at the Premier League table now, West Ham and Southampton are in 10th and 11th, 2 of the teams who came up last season, and 2 of the teams, of course, who, Reading won the league, didn't they?
Yeah.
And they're going down. So it doesn't necessarily tell you who's best equipped to stay up there, but are Hull, do you think, Robbie?
Listen, I think it'll be, regardless of what team they've got, I think they will need to spend, and bring in a lot of players. Listen, we've seen it many times where teams have come up and sort of maybe they hold their own, but you need a bit of experience there, don't you?
If it had been Watford, I would have said that the style of football they play, one or two players could have made the difference, but with Hull, I think they need a few
there were dramatic finishes everywhere, weren't there? At Selhurst Park, Crystal Palace were looking to secure their top 6 finish. At the same time, with this 90th minute goal from Mili Jedniak, it meant that it was 3-2 to Crystal Palace, which meant Peterborough United were going down to League One. And manager Darren Ferguson has been through the mill, hasn't he? They had a terrible start to the season, a strong finish, but it just wasn't enough. Let's hear from the Peterborough manager now.
It's hard to imagine what you must be feeling, because your side didn't deserve, never mind going down, to lose this one either.
No, we didn't. We didn't deserve to lose the game. But unfortunately, we just haven't done enough.
There were times today that you looked in command, you looked like the better side. Just this performance alone must have pleased you.
I think it's as well as we've played for a few weeks. We've played really, really well. Everything we worked on, the players got spot on. And I think, 6-7 minutes to go, you're winning the game. You know that's enough. But we've lost that last goal. Was a killer for us.
Peterborough, of course, going down with Wolves and Bristol City, but those are the playoff fixtures. They start this week, of course. Leicester will play Watford and Crystal Palace will play Brighton. Leicester just creeping over the line at the end, and Watford feeling like they've crashed on the last day after missing out on the automatic promotion spot. Who do you fancy?
I honestly, I just think that Palace now, first win in 9 games, give them the lift that they need. They're the best attacking team, I think, still in the division. I think they've got a good chance. And also, I think that Leicester as well. You say they just crept in, disappointed Bolton, disappointed Nottingham Forest. I think they've got a good chance.
I know, I'm just laughing at Bright because
Palace.
not Palace, because he thinks Palace have got a chance going up. And who's the other team you said? Leicester. I'm going to go for Brighton, because I think Brighton are a good side. And, listen, I think the Championship is very hard to get out of. And listen, about teams playing football there, it's not really common in the Championship. It's about results.
They all want to get out, but will Wigan still be there when they get to the promised land next season? They've given themselves a fighting chance with that 3-2 win over West Brom today. Manager Roberto Martinez is talking to Ivan Gaskell.
Roberto, congratulations. You just keep doing it, don't you? What is it about Wigan?
Well, I think one word today is character. We never accept defeat, to come back twice from behind. In a place as difficult as this is of huge merit. I thought the performance, the first 20 minutes, it took us a lot to get into the rhythm of the game, but then to score 3 goals from open play and do it in the manner that we did today was very pleasing. And then the last 10 minutes, as you would expect, they throw everything at you, and we dropped 2 points last week. And today we showed that we learned from that we had a great composure, great concentration, and 3 magnificent points, but just the start of a very, very exciting final 2 weeks of the season.
You could say that.
Yes, no, I think it's fair to say that we've been playing much better than the results they've been showing. But I think what's very difficult as a footballer is to maintain them levels when the results are not coming. And today, it couldn't be a bigger example. Even during the game, you go 1-0 down, the second goal, which is very disappointing in the manner that is allowed to stand up. And we never died. And I'll say it again, I think scoring 3 goals at this place from open play, I don't think any other team has done it this season. So it's not just grasping for points, it's deserving the points, and extremely proud for the players today.
Roberto Martinez, what a week this could be. Guy Mowbray was watching this one for Match of the Day. Guy, we never surprised about them performing great escapes, but their timing is always incredible. They've got Swansea midweek, they've got an FA Cup final next weekend. They could go into that cup final level on points with Newcastle United. And, this could be an incredible 7 days in the club's history, couldn't it?
It could be, Gabby, but you know what? I am surprised today. I can't believe they've won today. I've seen Wigan play much, much better than that and lose or drop points, as they did against Spurs last week, actually. I thought they were better just 7 days ago. At the back, they are still committing such basic errors. It's incredible to see for a team that's fighting for its life. But then going forward, they just have this grit. You talked about timing. What about that from Roberto Martinez? He throws James MacArthur on. 69 seconds later, he heads the equaliser for 2-2. He gave it everything. He had to come on. Jordi Gomez was having a stinker. The game had completely passed him by. MacArthur came on. The whole tempo changed. And the other two that combined for the winning goal. Sean Maloney, I think, has just been superb. He's the smallest player on any pitch he plays on, but he weaves, he bobs, he gets crosses in. He put it across for McManaman, who's similar stature. He's been a breath of fresh air, the way he's come into the team and played with no fear. We're told he struggles with nerves. Well, if that's him playing nervously, I'd like to see him when he's got a bit of confidence, because he's been a really good player for Wigan in recent weeks.
Hold your thoughts just a second, Guy. We're going to go straight to White Hart Lane, where, of course, they're still playing, and Tony Husband has a goal for us.
Oh, what a goal from Gareth Bale. What a week from the PFA Player of the Year. He's done it with 5 minutes to play. It's trademark left-footed magic from the Welshman. Ran across the face of the 18-yard box, unleashed it left-footed, past Boric, right into the corner of the net. Bale, 20 Premier League goals this season for Tottenham. A massive goal for them late on here. They lead 1-0, 3.5 minutes to play.
Thank you very much, Tony. Let's go back to Guy Mowbray. Gareth Bale, who else?